get back on our sing track here and bring out our first guest. We have Philippa Hughes and Jennifer Tress. Let's bring them out.
Let's bring them out. Great show.
How are we?
Stylish ladies, huh?
Hello, everyone.
You smell good too, trust me. I smelled it myself.
Yes, definitely.
I'll have what she's having.
Oh.
You need to have like 5 more.
Oh, okay.
What?
Don't worry about it.
It's a Manhattan.
Okay, first question, Philippa. Do people ask you if you look like Renee Zellweger all the time?
Question.
That happens once a week. And we were just talking about who would play us in a movie if ever a movie was made about us, and I said not Renee Zellweger.
Who would you prefer to have played?
Katrina Deneuve.
Okay.
But not because she looks like me, I just think she's hot and sexy.
Okay, that's fair.
That's a great
What about you,
choice.
Jennifer?
I would have to go with Juliette Binoche for the same reasons. Just hot, sexy, good, and good.
Yeah, obviously you want to be
You want to be
associated with
talented.
all those things.
Yes.
And
right.
French last names is a theme.
Yes.
Oui.
Yes.
Shouldn't
All
say
right.
clap.
But getting on track here. So Philippa, you're with the Pink Line Project. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
A little bit.
Or a lot of it, it's up to you.
Yeah, so I started Pink Line Project as a way to give people access to the arts in DC, but in reality, the idea is to show people that Washington isn't just about lobbyists and lawyers and bureaucrats. It's really amazing people like who are in this room right now, who are interested in arts and culture and just making stuff happen at a creative way. When I hear myself talking, I feel really hokey, but it's actually what I believe. So, and having been a lawyer, I get it. Like, that's what the city is about in a lot of ways, but it's not all that.
It's also super boring.
It's,
Like that
no, it
happens.
is. No, I completely agree. It's super boring. And that's actually why I even started down that path, because I was super bored.
Yeah.
And I started doing little salons and whatever because I was bored. And then I realized, oh, there's a lot of other people out there who are kind of interesting and are interested in what I'm interested in.
Cool.
And so you started those parties so you could meet those people.
I
And
totally
is that
did.
how you met Jennifer?
Well,
Yes.
I mean, sort of, yeah. I mean, I did it very selfishly. I was like, I'm gonna surround myself with cool, interesting people.
Let's throw a party.
And I'm gonna go party. And Jennifer came to one of those parties, and I'm gonna be friends with her because she's cool and interesting.
And there it
This
was.
happened naturally.
Well, yeah.
Threw her.
Yeah.
Sort of calculated, but yes.
Naturally calculated.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Hey, listen. I wanted to have a talk show, and here we are. I know how it is, girl.
A lot of calculation there.
All right. So then, Jennifer, aside from being involved with some Pink Line stuff, what are you up to? I know you have a book coming out.
Yeah, I have a book coming out that's called You're Not Pretty Enough, which is something, the title refers to something my ex used to say to me while he was
Hey.
having an affair, which is why he's my ex, clearly. And so I'm a storyteller. I've published, a lot of the stories, true stories, in anthologies, magazines, things like that. But what's interesting, I think there's something that's become sort of bigger from the book.
There you are.
Oh, there I am. I really wasn't pretty enough then.
I think you're doing great.
So I
I'm
mean,
doing
he was a big jerk.
Yeah, but if you would have seen me at 12, you would have been like, you know what, that's right. That's true. Caterpillars for eyebrows.
Now they turn into beautiful butter.
That's right. I've emerged from, yes, exactly.
That was a lame pun, everyone.
Swan,
So
if
good.
you will. But something bigger has come from it, and so I have a website that's the same name, and I just did it to sort of promote the book to the publishing industry. But what came out of it, I have these web stats that I can read who's Googling me, and a lot of people started finding me because they were Googling, will I ever be pretty enough? Am I pretty enough? How to be pretty when you're not? And it used to really bother me. And it wasn't until I saw something that was part of the news a couple months ago. I don't know if you've heard about this. There's this trend of young girls, 12-year-old girls, middle school girls, who are putting videos up on YouTube asking people if I'm ugly. and YouTubers are judging them, and they're saying awful things on there, right? It's really, so once I saw that, I thought I have to do something about this. I can't sort of sit on this opportunity, and so I started working with area colleges, the women's centers and women and gender studies centers from George Mason, from Loyola. I'm going to begin working with George Washington as well, to collect videos and responses back. So I'm overhauling the website to respond back to those women. So when they Google that in the future, they will be able to have a community that's coming back at them, much like the It Gets Better campaign.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's turned out to be a much bigger thing. And
Yeah, let's get up for that
yeah, so it'll be coming in June. It'll be coming out.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's really great. Now, let's talk a little bit more about some of the stories that are in the book itself.
Yes.
Now, I know when we had talked before, you told me about a particular idol of yours.
I had a major crush on John Bon Jovi when I was a young wee child. And
It's coming. Don't worry.
yeah, I was obsessed with him. And when I was like 15, 16 is when he came out with the Slippery When Wet tour. So that's when he had like the big hair. Like that's when I loved him. Like I saw him first on MTV. What was that? Shot Through the Heart, right?
Yeah.
And You're to Blame, right? I saw that and I was like, oh, Mama's in. And turns out, like this radio station out of Cleveland, Ohio, which is near where I'm from, started coming out. Yeah, right. Cleveland, give it up, sure. Well, they started broadcasting out of this very small town that I grew up in called Newberry, which is in Geauga County, and I met the DJ there, and he sort of liked teenage girls who had big boobs, and so it like got me tickets to it and backstage passes, and I met him before I even turned 17. I got backstage and met John Bon Jovi, and I had practiced it. Like I knew like 8 weeks ahead of time that I was going to meet him, and for like 8 weeks I practiced. Here was what I was going to say to him. Like if he was a dick, I was going to be like, your fans are who made you, and like, who are you? And I had like 8 different responses to it, right? And when I met him, I just fell silent and didn't say a thing. And I think you can tell I'm not a shy girl, so that was the first and probably last time that's ever happened. I blew my jam.
The only time you made like a flow chart, if he says this.
Yes,
you say
exactly.
this.
Right, exactly.
Oh, the
Right,
decision
yes.
tree.
Yeah,
Yes.
decision tree. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yes. I like flow chart, but whatever.
That's to me a mean spreadsheet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
I love Excel.
So I actually looked like him.
Oh, you did? Yeah, there we go.
Look at this. Wow.
All right. Well, the eyebrow situation improved.
It did improve. Really, who is you there? Who is you?
I'm confused.
I don't know.
Tress, I wish that you sometimes wear a leather jacket though, with your shoulder out, kind of
Yeah, but
holding it like that.
And some rings and about 8 rings.
Great.
Yeah,
Too
I'm
many
gonna do
rings.
that. It's gonna be my new look.
It's basically brass knuckles at that point.
right, yeah. You can punch anyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Done.
A love punch.
Yes. Anyways.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
I will say that's the story she told at my salon, and when I saw this picture.
And it was love.
No, it was love at first sight. I was like, I used to have hair like that when I was not a blonde.
We've all been through phases, right? Yes. John has too.
Oh,
He
indeed.
certainly
Yes,
has.
I ate a grilled cheese sandwich next to him one time in New York City, and he ordered a club and red wine with his family. He was wearing this really just awkward T-shirt with a big cross on it, and people-
Nothing's awkward about him, Taylor.
I'm
Nothing
sorry.
at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't awkward.
Everything was
Sorry.
graceful and,
Yeah,
just
wonderful
flowing.
and perfect.
Yeah. He tipped big, I'm sure.
Oh, of
Oh, yeah.
course. Yes.
I thought he was dead.
What was that Twitter rumor? Do you remember there was
Yeah, I
that
do
Twitter
remember
rumor
that.
that
How
came
sad
out?
is that when you have to be like, all right, guys, I'm not dead. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
working quite a bit.
But it was funny because my husband actually came up and was like, I have really bad news for you, Jen. And I was like, what? He was like, you might want to sit down. And he's like, John Bon Jovi's dead. And I was like, what? I mean, it was visceral, the
Right,
response.
I'm sure. Did you like choke him and hold him against
Yeah, no, I
the
was
wall?
like, this can't be happening. You know, we
Punch him in the face with all your rings.
You even posted on my Facebook. You were like, I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Thank goodness.
That is cruel and
It
unusual.
was.
So when is the book coming out so we can read about that story and other ones?
Hopefully soon. It's with HarperCollins right now. It's with Penguin. It's with several literary houses. So I'm hoping this year it'll happen.
Nice, you get some of that sweet advanced cheddar.
Sweet, sweet dough.
Nice. Now, Philippa, how about for Pink Line Project? What kind of events do you guys have coming up, or anything you want to plug for our audience?
You know what? I actually am trying to cut back on the events. They are literally back-breaking endeavors. So I'm actually.
Yeah, you were actually in a wheelchair backstage.
I
It's a new
hobbled
We have to
out
talk
to
about
the
cherry
stage.
glass though, and illuminate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I just came off of a couple big events
Okay.
in Anacostia in a warehouse, and they were like these amazing events that brought people from different places and cultures and age groups and just all different kinds of people together into this space, and it was all around arts and culture, which again, I find myself sounding hokey, but arts and culture actually brought these people together into this one space, and it was
1,200 people.
That's pretty
in
amazing.
Cherry West, yeah, and it was like this joyful experience that, like, I just looked across the room, like people were joyful, and it made me happy. So, but all that said, I'm not doing that again. Because it was super hard. It was really hard.
Joyful but hard.
Joyful but taxing.
I'll never do that again. It's partially because I don't necessarily want to do the same thing over and over again. I want to like create something new a new experience each time. So I don't know what I'm going to do next.
Okay, but people can follow you at.
But you can follow me at pinklineproject.com because I don't want to just kind of recreate just do the same thing over and over again just because I know that it could work. Like I want to give.
You're an
people-
innovator.
You
I'm
are.
an innovator.
And I think part of what you do is with the space too. So there's always a new space to
That's
be
right.
rehabbed.
I've never gone back to the same space
Yeah.
twice because I think the space gives it a character as well. And it's also the idea that, if we move around all around DC, is to show that every part of DC is awesome and cool. It's not just saying, 14th Street is cool or even Anacostia is cool. It's like everything's cool, and I don't want to just focus on one thing.
That's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Man, this has been the least jokey interview we've ever had. And it's good. It's good for that. But I do have one final super jokey question for both of you, which is, what was your hottest moment of today?
We're gonna sort of maybe make that non-jokey too.
I have
So I'm a contributor to the Huffington Post, and I put out stuff that sort of tries to tie into the You're Not Pretty Enough stuff, right? But along culture and entertainment. And so I put out one today about Mad Men and the Julia Armand character and her looking her age and owning it, right? And within an hour, it got like 140 retweets.
Nice.
That was my hot moment.
All right.
Wow,
First hottest
very
moment.
hot.
Yeah. All right. Now, Philippa, how about you?
I have a similar left-handed compliment kind of hot moment. Kind of a DC thing. I gave a talk about social media, which I use social media a lot, but I don't necessarily, I don't think of myself as an expert in that, but the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts had a national meeting, and I gave them a talk about social media. And right before I was supposed to go on stage, somebody tweeted, "Really thrilled to be meeting Pink Line Project in 60 seconds. She's rad." And I was like,
Yes.
that was amazing. And then I met the guy, and he's from Minnesota. So I
Great.
thought, that's fucking amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
swear.
sorry.
Whatever. Oh, yeah. Fucking great.
yeah.
All right, hottest
Amazing.
moment.
That
Come
was
with
so
it.
I'm gonna take a little
All right,
picture
guys,
of
thank you so
everyone.
much for being on.
Smile.
Wow.
They are
We need to shake all that
amazing.
serious off.
Exactly.
And with that, we'll be right back.